Napoleon Bonaparte did not lose his empire on a battlefield. There was no single cannon blast, no dramatic surrender, no moment where Europe suddenly turned against him. When the collapse truly began, Napoleon believed he was still winning. The day he lost everything felt like just another strategic decision. In 1812, Napoleon stood at the height of his power. Most of continental Europe was either conquered, allied, or intimidated into obedience. His armies were unmatched in experience and scale. His reputation alone was enough to make nations hesitate. But one empire resisted him, not with armies, but with defiance. Russia refused to fully comply with Napoleon's continental system, an economic blockade meant to cripple Britain. To Napoleon, this was not a geopolitical warning. It was an insult, a challenge to the system he had built. So he chose war. When the Grand Army crossed into Russia, it was the largest military force Europe had ever seen, over 600,000 men drawn from dozens of nations. Napoleon believed size alone would force a decisive battle, a quick victory, and a political settlement. What he didn't realize was that Russia had no intention of fighting his war. Instead of meeting Napoleon head-on, Russian forces retreated. Villages were abandoned, crops were burned, supplies disappeared. The deeper Napoleon advanced, the emptier the land became. Each step forward looked like progress. It wasn't. Napoleon reached Moscow expecting victory. What he found was a city already lost. Fires erupted across the capital, destroying food, shelter, and any illusion of triumph. There was no surrender, no negotiation, only ruins. Napoleon waited. Days passed, then weeks. Winter arrived. The decision to retreat came too late. Hunger, disease, and freezing temperatures turned the withdrawal into a slow execution. Soldiers deserted, collapsed, or died where they stood. Horses froze, cannons were abandoned, entire units vanished without ever fighting a battle. The Grand Army was destroyed not by defeat, but by exhaustion. Napoleon returned to France believing he could rebuild. On paper, he still ruled an empire. His enemies were cautious, his authority remained intact. But the illusion was gone. For the first time, Europe saw that Napoleon could be beaten, not through superior tactics, but through patience and attrition. His allies began to hesitate, his enemies began to organize. Coalitions formed, borders hardened, the momentum that had carried Napoleon across Europe quietly reversed. Within 2 years, Napoleon would be defeated, exiled, return briefly, and be defeated again, permanently. But the empire didn't fall at Waterloo. It fell the day Napoleon chose distance over restraint, speed over sustainability, and domination over limits. The invasion of Russia didn't just destroy an army. It destroyed the myth that Napoleon was unstoppable. And once that belief died, everything else followed.